What do you think about the terrorist attacks that have been happening now in Israel?
Well, we cannot forget one fact that terror is a global disease. It's a global disease, but the people who suffer much more than anybody else are the Muslims themselves. Let's not forget that more than 90% of the victims of the so many chapters of the global jihad organizations are Muslims. I mean, they are killing endlessly in so many places. Sometimes it happens also in the West. Sometimes it happens also in Israel. But what I'm telling Muslims, and we have here around us, here in Auschwitz, two delegations of Muslims who came to learn, to know. I'm telling all of them, you should raise your voice against the jihad because you are the victims. It's not the role, not of Israel, not of the West, not of the American army, not of NATO. It's your role to fight them because you are the people who are suffering more than anybody else from this kind of terror. So yes, we are suffering also. We in Israel. Yes, of course, but comparing to so many other places, in Nigeria, in Afghanistan, in Somalia, in all the Sahel area, Chad, Mali, and other places, we are suffering. They are suffering. They are suffering every day. Every day, they have victims of terror. So yes, we are suffering, and yes, we are fighting against them. We are not fighting against Muslims. We have nothing against Muslims. We have something against terrorists, Islamists, jihadists, and we cannot mix the two groups. Even if you see what's going on in the last 2 weeks in Sweden, it's mainly extremists. Yeah, with all the riots. But who is suffering? Who is suffering? The majority. The people in those poor neighborhoods in Malmö, in Stockholm, in other places. But it's going on. What happened in the Temple Mount, Haram al-Sharif? What happened? I mean, 80,000 Muslims, Palestinians came to pray. Who did not let them practice? Who did not let them? The 300s, hooligans, people who identify themselves with the Hamas. So they are the enemy of the majority. And people are complaining against Israel. Are you complaining against us?
Because they said the Israelis went into the mosque and threw...
But it's in order to enable the service, the Muslim service. It was not about Jews. It was about the Hamas trying to take over the Temple Mount against the Muslims, not against Israel. And people sometimes do not understand it. They are not fighting against us. Yes, of course, they want to exterminate all the Jews according to the ideology of the Hamas and all the other jihad organizations. But who is paying the price? The people of Gaza, the people in the West Bank, because of them, not because of us.
But what is the reason of this outburst of terrorist attacks suddenly?
Because this is, I mean, the whole idea, they do not need a reason.
Because some people say Ramadan, some people say because of the summit with the Arab countries.
Of course, they are trying to exploit any opportunity in order to increase terror. Of course, they are.
But why now?
It's always. Now it's in Israel because of, we have waves of rising terror. Yes, of course. But generally speaking, it's happening every day. Why do they kill the people of a poor village in Nigeria? Why? Why? I mean, once I wrote an article about the jihad and about two suicide bombers who entered a mosque and kill themselves and all the people. I mean, the people there were Sunnis. The suicide bombers were Sunnis. And he asked me some years ago why they are killing their own fellows, Muslims. Why they are killing them? And this is the whole story. I mean, you don't need an excuse. You do it in order to terrorize the people, and that's why they did it. But they're killing themselves and they're killing fellow Muslims.
But someday someone wakes up and say, "I'm going to." But
You see
it's not an organized.
You see the hundreds of people of Muslims here. They are waking up. They are waking up. People are waking up. And if you know what's happening in the Arab world, and if you're following the new public opinion polls, you find out that, yes, people are fed up with the extremism. Yes, we have people who support jihadists. And they are strong because they are determined.
So someone is organizing.
But it doesn't mean that they are the majority. They are not the majority.
Someone is organizing these people
Not
that
yet.
are.
No, it's not organized.
Because
It should
they
be
say
much more.
ISIS.
It should be.
Sorry.
It should be on a much higher level. Not enough. But we see a change. We see right now in the Muslim world, in the Arab world, we see a change against the jihad and against Iran. And that's why there is a coalition with Israel. Yes, people say, well, it's because of interest. What is so bad about interest if it's helping both peoples? I mean, Arabs, Jews, why not? And yes, we see here people coming in order to learn, in order to understand, in order to no more hatred.
But it's also a statement. It's also a statement to come here.
It's also
A statement.
yeah, of course it is a statement. Of course it is a statement. You know, in 2014 it was Professor Dejani, who is also here around, who came. And today, you know what I told him? I mean, he was a kind of...
Please explain to our readers who is
Professor Dejani was the first Palestinian professor, and the only one actually, who came with a delegation of students here to Auschwitz. And he was boycotted by his own colleagues and by the university, Al-Quds University. And you know what? What's happening now here with so many Arabs around us? This is his victory. Because he paved the way. So we have to thank him, Professor Dejani, because he was brave enough to do it, to be the first one. And here we see highly prominent people who are coming, like the chief editor of Al-Sharq which is the most important magazine in the Arab world, and some other people, journalists, academics, who are coming.
There is also a
And
Saudi
they expose themselves.
delegation.
They are not hiding.
There is also an Emirate delegation.
And of course, from the Emirates, from Bahrain,
From Saudi Arabia?
from Saudi Arabia. Yes, there is the chief editor of Al-Sharq al-Awsat. He's from Saudi Arabia. He's not afraid. Nobody is going to boycott him. So yes, there is a change. And thanks to brave people in the Arab and Muslim world.
Thank you.